Brand School of Business and Economics, USA. So she's an electrical engineering graduate from the University of Morocco, and she received her Master of Science degree in Information Technology and Management from the University of Texas at Dallas, and she obtained her doctoral degree in Information Systems from the College of Business Administration, University of Texas at Arlington. And she has a notable journey in becoming a management scholar, and she has industry experience in popular companies in the US as well. And with that being said, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Indika, and please try to make it an interactive session. You may be able to ask any questions during the session. So over to you, Dr. Indika.
Thank you so much for a great interaction, Susita, and thank you so much for the opportunity giving me the opportunity to meet you and discuss about my experience here. And again, thank you for everyone who's attending the session today. So I would like to make it a more interactive session. So I don't want it to be a very formal session. So you can ask questions, and whatever I know, I'll share with you, and I will try to answer to best of my knowledge and ability. So given the topic, so I will start talking a little bit about my background and experience, and then I would like to know about you a little bit, and then we make it a more interactive session. So I'm going to go ahead and share a presentation, and please feel free to ask questions anytime during the presentation or even after the presentation. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And I hope you can see my screen. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let me start the presentation, and okay, just give me a second. All right. So the system already gave me a good interaction, so I don't have to go through a lot. So the topic given is engineering to management scholar. So as you know, I started as a electrical engineer, then I changed my field to management. So the journey and my current experience as a scholar in information systems. So I would like to bring those and discuss more about this, share my experience with you, and see whatever type of questions that you might have. So as I mentioned, so please make it interactive session. So I'll start with my education background. I did my engineering. I earned my engineering degree from University of Morocco in electrical engineering. I graduated in 2005, and then I work in Demo in Sri Lanka, specifically with Siemens product, supporting as a telecommunication solution engineer, supporting Siemens telecom products. And I worked there about 1.5 years, and then I decided to do higher studies, and then I came to USA, and I decided to kind of change my field from engineering to management. And then I started my master's in information technology and management, University of Texas at Dallas. While working, while I was studying IT in business school, at the same time I started working as an intern with a company called Ericsson. And then after graduating from UT Dallas, I worked as a database developer and administrator for some time. And then I again decided, okay, I got enough industry experience, and I wanted to change my field to academia. So in order to do that, I decided to do my PhD. So then I joined UT Arlington, University of Texas Arlington Business School, and I earned my PhD in business administration with the information systems concentration. And then yeah, so a little bit about my education background. So I started from engineering, then I kind of shift to management. And also like many students and many fellow faculties I met, they have diverse backgrounds, engineering, management, psychology, social sciences. So it's very common to have like a different degrees in different undergrad studies, and then later in your career move into a different field, from industry to academia, from different disciplines to another discipline. So that's kind of very common here. So it wasn't difficult. It's a change. I mean, you feel the change, but it wasn't difficult when you change your area. And then I'll talk a little bit about my industry and academic experience. So after graduating, so while I was a graduate student in UT Arlington, I also started working as an instructor, teaching a couple of classes. And then after graduating, I joined Northeastern University as a visiting assistant professor. And there I taught courses such as statistics. And then it's a visiting position. So after a year, I joined University of North Carolina, Greensboro, as a tenure track faculty assistant professor. And I joined there in 2016. So now I'm doing research in crowdsourcing and other related areas, as well as also I'm teaching classes in information systems related areas. So that's a little bit about my background. And when it comes to industry experience, I work in several companies. So I work in ETA, PCS, that's a switchgear company, who designing like control relay panels for high voltage. And that in Dubai for some time. And then as I mentioned, I work as a telecommunication solution engineer with Demo, Sri Lanka. And then I work at Ericsson as a database developer and database administrator. And also I work in another company in US called Goodman as a project analyst. So I have some industry experience and some academic experience as well. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. And again, as I mentioned, so if you want to ask anything, please feel free to ask and make it more interactive session, so we can share knowledge with each other. Yeah, so I will also talk a little bit about my research. So now I'm working as assistant professor. So in our my assignment, like 50% for research and 40% for teaching, and then 10% for service. So while working at, while teaching, I mean, other than teaching classes, we also need to do some research throughout the, I mean, every year they have evaluation for research, teaching, and services. So in addition to teaching, you have to do research as well. So my research area is crowdsourcing. So I don't want to go into deep into crowdsourcing. I'll briefly mention about what type of research that I do. But again, please feel free to ask any questions. If your family, just in case if you're not familiar with the crowdsourcing system, so crowdsourcing is kind of similar to outsourcing, but instead of like, have one or two vendors, you're making an open call to general public. Companies, we call them seekers, companies or individual who has some business problems, they make open call through online platform to general crowd to come and help solve their business problems. So this model, you call it crowdsourcing systems. So you have a seeker who's looking for a solution for a business problem, and the platform, online platform, where you post your questions, and then the solvers or the general public who help them to solve those problems. So my research is mainly focused on these crowdsourcing systems. I'm doing research from mainly from the platform perspectives. Any questions, or am I going too fast? Okay, so yes. Go ahead.
It's good. It's good.
Okay. All right. So Okay, so as I mentioned, so my research is mainly from crowdsourcing platforms. So you're probably familiar with, there are a lot of crowdsourcing platforms such as, Dell Idea Storm to like generate ideas through customers, and some design platforms such as Threadless teaches design top coders for software development type of problems. I had several studies related to Kaggle, that's a data science platform. If you want to like learn about data science, if you want to work on data science project, that's a good place to go. They have huge amount of data sets, and you can they have competitions, data science competitions. You can participate, win awards, and also learn a lot. That's a very good place if you're interested in data science. And also Xculture, that's a crowdsourcing platform for academia, and it's owned by one of my fellow faculty member at Dr. Vas Torres at CG. And they have competition for students all around the world. More than 100 universities all around the world participate in these competitions. And then I also did some research. CrowdMed, it's a medical platform that's to interact patients, and patients post their problems in these platforms, and then train medical detectives as well as general crowd help solve these problems. So these are 3 platforms I focus in my research. So I have
Dr.
several
Indika,
publications.
can I just
Yes.
I just on this CrowdMed platform, is that kind of an a software that we use in hospitals or in healthcare, or what kind of
Okay, so CrowdMed is a platform. So as I mentioned, so my research is mainly like crowdsourcing, like crowd helps to resolve problems, right? So the CrowdMed platform, it's like an open platform. So mainly patients, they went to medical professionals for years, and if they cannot, that they have problems and that cannot be resolved by medical practitioners, they get frustrated and come to that platform. So they have years, they went to several medical practitioners, but they couldn't resolve their problems. Then they decided to come to this platform usually. So they post their problems in the platform, and then they are the seekers. In that case, they are the seekers who are looking for a solution to their problem. And then you have medical detectives. The medical detectives could be like doctors, nurses, or medical students, as well as patients with the similar problems. And they help to resolve their problems, giving diagnosis. And then there's a process of validating this diagnosis. And sometimes the correct diagnosis even has some kind of reward associated with that. So they don't have a specific software. This is like a platform where all these 3 parties get together and help resolve patient medical issues. There are other platforms for medical practitioners, things like that. Did I answer your question?
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked the question is so now we have a healthcare program here in this university, and we will be offering in health information systems or something like that to our students. So this might go with that kind of subject. That's why I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, so like healthcare analytics, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Yes. So so my area is crowdsourcing, but I'm looking at a crowdsourcing application across different domains: in healthcare domain, in data science domains, in business consultancy domains. So how this concept is applied in different domains. But yes, so this type of research will be considered as healthcare. And of course, all these research, we use analytical tools to do your models. My methods are mainly econometrics and machine learning. And yes, so yeah, and also yeah, you're absolutely right. So you can, as I mentioned, so I'm doing, even though it's crowdsourcing, I'm doing multi different disciplines across. Yeah. Okay, so these are some publications related to research, my research in crowdsourcing. So Kaggle is a data science platform. So I've published several papers related to Kaggle, looking at how to improve the performance of participants and look at how they strategically, these are competitions, right? So how they strategically play the game. And then how you can change the platform designs to improve the performance in these competitions. And the CrowdMed, since you asked about healthcare, talk a little bit about the CrowdMed case, what we look at. So there are two things in this crowdsourcing. So if you want to find a good solution, you need to attract more solvers, right? So in this particular case, we look at how we attract medical detectives to this platform. And also if your crowd is big, they generate good solution, but they generate a lot of noise as well, right? So then you have a good evaluation criteria to remove the noise and identify the good solution. So we look at two things: how you attract more people, more detectives, at the same time how you eliminate noise in your solutions, and how you identify best solutions. So again, the method, we look at some machine learning and econometrics method to filter out solutions and finding good solutions. So that's a little bit about research. If you're interested, I can talk more about it, but just give you a background what type of research that I'm doing. And as I mentioned, so I started as electrical engineer, and we learn about motors, machines, generators, how to generate hydropower, things like that, but that's nothing to do with my current research. So it's completely different. So now I'm more focused on, like the crowdsourcing, how we can use this model in different domains to improve, solving how business problems. So yeah, so that's a little bit about it. And also I thought of giving you more information about, like, if you're planning to do higher studies in USA, more information about about PhD programs in business schools, and what are the admission requirements, what are the research requirements, things like that. Again, I think if you can ask more questions, I mean, if you have any questions related to this area, so I can provide more information about it. So if you take PhD programs or any program in business schools, these are some common. Not every school is going to have this program, but these are some common programs offered by business schools in general. So you have management department, information systems department. Sometimes information systems and the supply chain department is together in, like, our school. Operation management, supply chain and management, or management science. So they call different names to that department, but this department kind of the same thing. And then you have a marketing department, sometimes marketing, entrepreneurship, and tourism together. And then you have finance, economics, accounting, and also some business school has data science, but it's a multidisciplinary. Sometimes it's linked with a statistics department, sometimes business school, sometimes bioscience and computer science, or sometimes multiple departments like computer science. We do have a MSIA program, Master of Information Analytics program. That program actually, we information system department teach a couple of classes, and computer science department and also math and statistics department offering some courses, and bio science department also offering some courses for that. So it's multidisciplinary, right? So when you do analytics, you do healthcare analytics, information. So it's related to different domains. So usually that's why I put it, sometimes it's linked with the business school, sometimes it's more interdisciplinary kind of a program. So these are some common programs that we offer, and I'm not sure what exactly you are interested, whether it's management or information systems. I can discuss more about information systems.
Yeah, I think
Any question?
we have like we have lecturers from so many different areas in this university. Like I said, we have social sciences and we have tourism lecturers, and then we have lecturers from information technology as well. So looks like considering our department, we have everything related to management and healthcare side, and finance, economics, accounting. We have lecturers here.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about this program. So usually, like if you look at information systems, information system management or any other program, the setup of the program is kind of same. What I meant is, let me take you to one of the programs. So this is information systems program, PhD program. So even it's information systems or management or accounting or whatever, so you have some leveling or prerequisite classes, so to give you a background in that field. Then you have that discipline specific core courses. Usually these are seminars. That seminars, for example, information systems program, one of the seminars can be focusing on healthcare. So if you want to do research in healthcare analytics, probably you can take the information systems and you can focus on healthcare. So in my department, my fellow faculty, I'm doing research in crowdsourcing, and some of them are doing research in security. Some are doing research in healthcare. So it's even though it's information system, I mean, we are focusing on different areas in our research. In my department, no one just focused on information system research. So different areas in information systems. And one of the common hot topic is security and healthcare these days. A common like hot areas they do research. Yeah, so then you have core courses. The core courses covers like the theories, like if it's information systems theories. So if it's management PhD, then management theories. So you have seminar classes focusing on these things. So basically in these classes, you read a lot of papers, doing literature review to identify what has been done and identify gaps in the literature, so you can come up with some research questions. And in addition, so then you have your core courses specific to that area, management, information system, economics, or whatever. And then you have research methodology courses. So these research methodology classes are common, whether you're doing a PhD in management, information system, marketing, or tourism. Usually these are like common classes, research methodology classes. So you're going to use this methodology to do your research in different disciplines. So research methodology class usually include like statistics, machine learning, econometrics, structural equation modeling, so on and so forth. Game theory, like if you're doing analytical modeling type of things. So these are research methodology classes. And then once you kind of complete your coursework, then you have a comprehensive exam. So your PhD program usually 4 years or 5 years. And in between, you have something called comprehensive program to see your current progress and to see whether you'll be able to complete your PhD program successfully. And then after that, usually you work on your dissertation. That means you're going to find a research topic and then you're going to work on that research topic. So the way that you come up with a research topic is like looking at the literature, what has been done. and identifying some gap in the literature, and you focus on that gap and you come up with your research questions. And that's going to be your dissertation. So there are different format of dissertation. Some of us doing like 3 essay dissertations, sometimes 1 big dissertation focusing on one problem. And then you have your dissertation committee, so on and so forth. Then at the end, you are going to defend your dissertation and you earn your PhD. So that's the structure of the PhD program. And that structure is common. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're doing a PhD in management, marketing, or information, that structure kind of common. Just to give you an idea. And also a business school PhD program is focusing on academia, unlike engineering PhD program. So engineering, you after the PhD, most of them go to industry and only few go to academia, but management or business school PhD program give you academic training. So after completing the program, usually you go to academia. That means you join a university as assistant professor or lecturer, so on and so forth. And also during this program, usually they let you teach some classes. I mean, with full responsibility. That's a part of the program as well towards the end of the program. Any questions?
Yes, Miss Indika.
Hi.
This might be a very personalized question, but when selecting a PhD offer, what should be considered more, a good university or a good supervisor?
Good university or but the second thing you said?
A good supervisor.
Okay, so the management school PhD program is like, you know, slightly different. So usually like other schools, they have a research assistant and teaching assistant, kind of like you're looking for assistantship, right? When you go for a program. So if you go as a RA, then you have to select your supervisor earlier. Like, because if your funding coming through a grant, so the grant belongs to a particular person. So that's the person going to be your supervisor. But in the management school, the structure is slightly different. Usually the school fund you. You're gonna get teaching assistantship. So you have time to pick your supervisor. You don't have to pick your supervisor at the beginning. So usually you select your advisor like maybe second year or for end of the first year or second year. By that time, you have a knowledge about all the professors, and you know, you're taking seminars with them, so you know how they are, you interact with them, so you can you know, you can select based on your research interest, based on your, like, you know, it should be a person that you can interact with, right? So based on all these things, you can select your supervisor. So if you're looking at the program in the business school, I would say, like, just look at the program and your interest and select the program, but don't worry too much about the supervisor because you have enough time to pick your supervisor. But if you're going with a research assistantship, and if your fund is coming for a grant, belongs to a person, then of course you need to think about that as well, whether you can work with this person for five years. That's a commitment that you do, right? So that's a very important question. But usually in the business schools, that's not a big problem because you have time to pick your supervisor. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Any other questions?
I think it's you know, when we apply for a PhD position or teaching assistantship, we are getting a stipend usually through that supervisor, isn't it?
So you're getting a stipend, yeah, but it goes like the school hires you, not a person hires you. So it's usually a graduate teaching associate portion or teaching assistant portion. So that's why, I mean, it's not coming for a single person, it's coming from the department. So you don't have to worry about, you have a freedom to select your supervisor later on.
Sure.
Did I answer your question, or is it
Yes.
was
Yes.
okay? Yeah. So when you pick a program that you like, and also of course you need to have funding, right? So make sure that you get your funding, and then later on you can select your supervisor. But selecting your supervisor is a very, very important decision. So because it's not just the area, you should be able to work with the person. So so the personality and all these things matters when you select your supervisor, of course. Any other questions? Okay, so let me go back to the presentation. So yeah, so that's a little bit about the program, just to give you an idea. And also let me talk about PhD admission requirements. So of course, you need to have your undergrad, and sometimes they ask for your master's degree. So specifically business school, they usually ask your master's degree, but they also, I mean, small percentage, they even hire directly from your undergrad. So they're looking at the GPA, undergrad GPA. And also you need to take GMAT or GRE exams. That exam has two components. One is like related to your analytical skill, math, and the other is English, your vocabulary, so on and so forth. So the GMAT is specifically for business schools. If you take GMAT, you can't go to engineering school. GRE, you can go to engineering schools like science or business school, both. So if you just want to do enroll in a program in a business school, I suggest taking GMAT, because personally, I did both. Personally, I felt like GMAT is comparatively easier than GRE. The analytical part is usually okay with us, but the vocabulary and English part is a little challenging. And then you also have to take English proficiency test. In US, usually they ask for TOEFL. But if you have taken IELTS, they also, some schools also accept IELTS. But if you're just focusing on applying PhD in US, then take TOEFL. But if you want to try other countries as well, you can do IELTS. They also accept that. And then you need to write a document called statement of purpose. So it's usually a 1 to 2 page, and that's very important document. Your letter, you should address your motivations. Why do you want to do a PhD, and your background, and why do you think you can be successful in your PhD program, and your career goals at the end of the PhD. What are you going to do? So you need to address these things in your statement of purpose, hope. And also you need to have good recommendations. So they look at these things. So usually they ask for about 3 recommendations. So these are the main admission requirements. And we have a semester system. So we have fall, then spring and summer. So fall is from August to December, fall semester. And then January to May is a spring semester. And then the summer. Summer is kind of optional. Even like we don't have to teach in summer if we don't want to. So even for the students, summer is optional. So if you're applying for a PhD program, I suggest that try to apply it end of fall, because like first round of selection usually in January, February area. So especially if you're looking for assistantship, apply early. So they make the additions by March, early March, mid-March, they make the addition for that academic year. So if you're applying for 2023 next year, please send your applications like in December this year, so you can plan accordingly when to take your GMAT exam, so on and so forth, right? And when you take GMAT, please be prepared for the exam, because if you want to go for a good school, they really look at this GMAT score. Yeah. Any questions about that? So I mean, this is a general admission requirement for many. I look at several PhD programs in several universities. These are the things that they're looking for. Okay, and also research, right? So as a doctoral student, they really look for your research. That's the main focus. Of course, they focus on teaching as well, but the main focus is on research. And I also put some journal out list, because I mean, if you publish somewhere, they may not recognize that. So they have specified a journal list, and they look, if you publish in journals in this list, they give more value. So FT50 is like Financial Times top 50 journals. And so I put that, if you click the link, you can see these journals. So these are business journals coming from different disciplines like management, information systems, operations, economics, so on and so forth, tourism, so on and so forth. And also Chartered Association of Business Schools, so CAP list. I'll open the CAP list here. And they also have a research ranking like 4-star, 4, 3, 2, 1, like that. And you can see like the journal title and also the field. So as I mentioned, there are multiple fields, account. Let me apply a filter here. You know, account, business, econ, marketing, so on and so forth. So when you come to the program, also like when you publish, it's important to look at where you publish in your research. It's not just getting a paper, so where you're publishing also matters. Then Australian Business Deans Council is another list, another recognized list. You can look at that list as well. You can, you know, filter by field and general ratings. So they also have A-star, A, B, C. A-star is the best. So just to give you an idea, and also when you do research, what paper that you should read. So read papers from recognized journals when you do your literature reviews, so on and so forth. Then that will also give you an idea what type of papers that I should read. There are the medical Jamia, like that. There are other medical related journals we do publish in. So if you're interested in health analytics, you can look at the papers published in these journals. Yeah, any question? I can send you the presentation so you can have those links. And also, where are the places that you can find information there? So discipline-specific information you can find in several organization sites, and they also publish related conferences. So if you have a small study, you can write a conference paper and send it out. And these conferences are recognized conferences. Sometimes if you're just publishing in any journal, maybe this conference is more recognized than that. Of course, IEEE journals are recognized. And IEEE has like business related journal like IEEE transactions, so on and so forth, right? So Association for Information System, AIS, is if you want to find about information systems and all the IS information system related conferences, this is a place you can go. So they tell you what are the upcoming conferences, so on and so forth. And so, I mean, these conferences, not only in US, they have international conferences. So ICC is international conference. And if you're interested in production and operation management side, then PALMS is a good place to go and look at. Actually, PALMS International in 2018, they had it in Sri Lanka. So in Kandy, I also attended that conference. So like that, you have conferences, recognized conferences that you can attend. And yeah, so Institute of Operation Research and Management Science, Inform. So Inform site, you can also look at OR related research and conferences and journals. And the academic management is focusing on management. So Academy of Management, if you go to that, you can look at like management related, journals, conferences, and related information. So these are like few places that you can go to find information. So yes, that's all I have. I mean, I don't know what type of information that you're looking for. So, but if you want, if you can, I mean, if you ask any question, I can try to answer to best of my knowledge and ability. So, and if there's anything that I don't know, I can look for it and send you the information. Any questions?
Dr. Indika.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for your session, and it's really interesting. This is like a general question. My question is, what made you to choose management as your major field?
Information, yeah. The reason that I select information system, I always has a management interest. Like while I do my undergrad in electrical engineering, I did CIMA. And then what I realized is like, even like if I look at my student in my master's program, most of them are engineering and technical people. At one point in career, they usually shift to management side. That's the trend I'm looking at, right? So just learning technical, I mean, it's interesting, but I realized at one point, like, if you want to talk with a business person, you need to have some business knowledge, right? So that gap, I wanted to kind of bridge that gap. So that's one of the decisions. I want to learn the management as well, because even like in engineering or technical field, when you go to the top, you're going to the management side. You need to know how to manage the business, right? And that's one of the reasons that from the beginning, I want to study about the management side as well. But then later on, while working in the industrial sometime, I had interest to join to academia. So if you want to join to academia, then of course, you need to have a PhD or higher education. So at that point, I decided, okay, like I had exposure to kind of both. I want to do my higher studies in business and join a big business school as a faculty, so I can do research in business as well as interact with the industry, because we interact a lot with the industry while teaching in business school. We also interact a lot with the industry. Our students doing internship programs in industry, and we get projects from the industry for students to work on. So that's, yeah, so it's not like a sudden decision. I always had some interest. So eventually I decided, okay, I want to go to business field. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, and also I want to tell you, I mean, it doesn't matter what your like the BS, whatever your BS, I mean, it gives you a foundation. You don't have to stay with your with that. And I see in here, I see a lot of people changing their field. So my current class, I'm teaching master's level class in more related to database and analytics. And I do have a student who has a PhD in chemical engineering, chemistry. And he worked as a postdoc for some time now. He has changed, he wants to change the field to business. So it's the training. I mean, even if I earned my degree in engineering, mainly in electrical engineering. So we did work with, generators, motors, so on and so forth. But when I go to industry, I work as a telecom engineer. So it's nothing to do with what I learned in my BS. So I think like that provides you the base, the foundation, and then your interest drives you, right? So if you want to go to management, of course, you do have the foundation to go. And if you don't know any courses, they have leveling courses, they offer leveling courses, so you can take them and get that knowledge. So it doesn't matter. So a lot of students in our program, they're coming from psychology, statistics, math, engineering, even bio, so you name it. So they're coming from different backgrounds. Even in my classes, I have a lot of students from different backgrounds. So yeah, so it's I think your interest drives what you want to do, and the background, it does not matter much. It provides you the foundation. Yeah, any question?
Dr. Indika, could you please explain more about the statement of the purpose? Whether we are going to include the research area, what we are going to do in PhD, like that, are we going to include that also? Or
You don't have to do a specific area unless you have a specific area, right? Like, for example, like, if you want to do, if this is, you're specifically applying for a PhD program in data science, and if you have interest in data science, then of course it will support you. So, if not, if it's more general program that you're applying, and if you don't have any specific area right now, that's even fine. So based on the program that you're applying, the statement of purpose basically looking at, like, it needs to talk about why do you want to do a PhD? Why this PhD program? So in my case, I think I was engineer. I mean, I had an engineering background, it's a career change. So I talk about why I want to make a change in career also. Like, I was in industry, I decided to go academia. Why? And what is my goal after graduating? I talk about, like, I want to join, academic. I want to go to academia, so I need to have a PhD to academia, and why I'm interested in information systems. So those are the things that you need to address. So, and also, if you have related experience, please bring those up, that will add value. Like, if you want to do a PhD in data science and you're already doing data science research, just bring that up. That will talk about your interest, why you want to do a PhD in this field. But if you don't know a specific research area, you can leave it. That's also okay. And if you want, I mean, I can maybe share some samples. So yeah, so that's a very important document that, and also you don't write a lot. You don't write a lot. It's basically talk about, what is the motivation, why you want to do a PhD in this, and what is your goal? I mean, after getting a PhD, what are you planning to do? Those are some of the things that you address in the SOAP.
Yeah, I think that'd be great if you could share that with us.
Yeah, I can share some samples, of course. Any other questions?
Probably not, because looks like
Okay.
our
All
time
right.
is.
Yeah. So yeah, and Sister has my contact information. So if you come up with any other question, of course, you can shoot me an email. And again, thank you for inviting me for this session. Yeah. So I'll stop
So
here.
in order to in order to wrap up the session, I would like to thank Dr. Indika Dissanayake for joining us and giving us a very informative session, because we have a bunch of early career lecturers and researchers in this new university. So, we are, we are trying to, do new things, innovative things in this university. So this would be a great informative session. So on behalf of the Gampaha Wickramarachchi University of Indigenous Medicine and the Faculty of Social Sciences and Indigenous Social Sciences and Management Studies, we have our Dean, Dr. Indika, who unfortunately she was not able to join us today because of an unavoidable meeting. So, and then we have our head of the department, the Management Studies, which is Yashodhara. So on behalf of all of them, I would like to thank you very much for joining this webinar and conducting this webinar on a very informative topic. So thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, bye.